Hi guys, welcome to my channel, The Golden Cruiser. I'm Cindy and today we're going to be talking about back-to-back cruising. Now back-to-back cruising is taking the same cruise ship twice. So say for an example, you're on a 7-day cruise to the Mexican Riviera. Then when you're back in port, you would then turn around and take the same cruise again. Or back-to-back cruising can be, for example, say your cruise ship leaves doing a repositioning cruise. So they might leave from Vancouver, Canada, heading to San Diego. That's the first week. And then from San Diego, they go to Mexico for the second week, but you're on the same ship. So that's what back-to-back cruising is. You're taking the same cruise ship back to back. Now, how do you go about booking these? Well, you can book these yourself online, but it's really best to call the cruise line direct and speak to an agent or use your travel agent. That way you make sure and let them know it's a back-to-back cruise and they need to mark it as a back-to-back cruise because it makes it easier in the long run for you at disembarkation to get off and back on. So make sure they know it's a back-to-back cruise. Now, it depends on if you want to stay in the same cabin or you want to switch cabins. That's up to you. But if you want to stay in the same cabin, you have to make sure with the cruise line that that cabin is available for the second sailing and let them know you want to stay in your cabin. Some people like to change cabins. They like to pick a different cabin that maybe they haven't sailed in. Maybe they were in a window cabin the first week, going to a balcony the second week, or maybe you want to try a suite or something out the second week. But that just depends on you. If you want to stay in the cabin, make sure and let them know and make sure it's available. Now, disembarkation. Do you need to disembark the ship? Well, you need to temporarily get off the ship with a group of passengers. Usually you'll get a notification the night before, or somehow you'll get a notice in your cabin as of what your instructions are to go meet in a certain area on the ship with the group of passengers that are going to stay on for back-to-back sailings. Now, normally as a group, and you might have a guide going with you from the ship, you will get off the ship temporarily because you do have to go through security again, but it's not going to take as long as when you're originally boarding the ship. It usually takes between 10 minutes up to an hour. And sometimes on certain sailings, certain ships, the security will actually come on board and do your process there so you don't have to get off again. So that just depends on the ships and everything. But you will be back on the ship before any passengers that are sailing get on the ship. So you'll be the first ones back on there. Now, your cabin. If you're keeping the same cabin, you'll just leave your things in your room and don't have to deal with them. But if you're switching cabins, you will have to pack your bags again with all your stuff, but the room steward will move your bags to your new cabin. You don't have to move your bags, so that's one good thing about that. So that just depends on what you want to do. Now, discounts. A lot of people wonder, do you get a discount for sailing back to back? Well, generally you don't. Maybe some cruise lines might give you a little break, but usually for this type, they don't. There are other ways that you can save money on these trips. For example, airfare. If you had to fly to take these two cruises separately, you would have to do two airfare, where you're only flying one time and getting two cruises out of it. And perhaps hotel rooms you stay the night before or something. So you are saving money that way, but usually you don't get a discount. Now, there is an exception. I heard that Holland America has something called collector's wages, that they combine back-to-back cruises at better rates and they make different ports so that people are more interested in these cruises. I don't know how much these go for, but you could call Holland America if you're interested and ask them about their collector's wages back-to-back cruises and see what kind of deal they could work out for you. Now, loyalty points. People wonder how the loyalty points work. Do you only get points for your first cruise? you get points for both cruises. So it's just like you're taking two separate cruises. So you do get your points for every day that you're on the cruise. Onboard credits. Now, if you had onboard credits, say on your first sailing, you had a $200 onboard credit and you haven't used it all and you're starting on your second week of sailing, those do not carry over. You will completely lose your credits if you don't use them on the first sailing. So if you have any type of onboard credits, make sure you use those before you get off the ship or they will be gone. Now, packages. If you took something like the drink package, specialty dining, photography package, etc., if you purchased that for the first cruise and you want it on the second cruise, you do have to purchase it again. You don't get one package for both sailings. So that is two separate cruises. So you do have to purchase those packages again. So that's about it. It's pretty easy to do a back-to-back cruise if you have the time and the funds available. It might be awesome to do, especially if it goes to different ports. Sometimes you'll get a sailing where the same ship is going to go to different ports, like the repositioning cruise that I talked about. In fact, Royal Caribbean is doing that cruise. They're repositioning from Vancouver, Canada, down to San Diego and cruising all along the coast in ports like Astoria, San Francisco. They're going to Catalina Island and San Diego. And then from there, I'm not sure where they're sailing from after that. But a lot of repositioning cruises, that would be a really nice opportunity to take back to back. So what do you think? Have you ever done back to back cruising? Did you like it or not like it? Let me know in the comments. Or are you interested in this? Is it something you'd like to do? Let me know in the comments and I'll take a look at what you say. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by today. If you like my channel, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to help me grow. Thank you all again for stopping by and I hope to see you again real soon on the Golden Cruiser. Bye for now. Have a wonderful day.